जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। मुनतिरवनचारी यमुनतिरावनचारी। यमुनतिरावनचारी यमुनतिरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। नंदन व्रज जन रंजन। मुन्नतिरवनचारी यमुनतिरवनचारी। यमुनतिरवनचारी यमुनतिरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे। जय राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे। राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे। गौरनिताय गौरनिताय। जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव। जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव। जय जय गुरुदेव। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। पीतांशल प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for a nice kirtan, so auspicious for us to prepare our consciousness to hear the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from your lotus mouth. With your permission, Prabhu, please allow me to introduce you to the audience and also introduce the audience to you. So we would like to welcome His Grace Acintya Gopesh Prabhu. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Radhana Samaraj, and has been practicing Krishna consciousness almost for 3 decades now. And Prabhu, by academic qualifications, he is BE and also possesses MBA degree. And he is a very senior corporate leader, and is a partner in a large multinational company. Prabhu has been traveling across the world um, to give different sessions, conduct different sessions on Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, and also motivational seminars. Prabhuji is currently residing in Mumbai and handling congregational preaching for ISKCON Navi Mumbai, uh, taking care of Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ji temple, and involved in various preaching activities, and also development initiatives across the world, and conducting various corporate training programs. So, I'd like to uh, request Prabhuji to bestow his uh, causeless mercy upon all of us, so that we continue hearing the glories of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu during past times during his South India trip. Prabhuji, to give a very brief introduction about this group, we have been trying to systematically study Chaitanya Charitamrta for last more than 6 years. So, sorry. So we started somewhere in 2017, 18. So since then, we have been systematically trying to study verse by verse. And we are inviting different speakers around the world. Sometimes the Maharajas also we had opportunity to take the blessings. And most of the members of this group, they are all preachers, and not from one particular country. They're from joining from different parts of the world. So uh, we beg your causeless mercy upon us to bestow the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon us. So thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks for inviting. Thanks for accepting our invitation. So all glories to you, and over to you for the session. And with the permission, we are already on live on YouTube, so it will be on record. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. You have already bestowed mercy on me by inviting to speak on this wonderful topic. So I am very grateful to be here, and like I said, really happy. And thank you, Nitin Narasim Prabhu, Ramanand Kanai Prabhu, for all the nice words. So, just want to, before I begin, Ramanand Prabhu, how are we on? Do we stick exactly to 45 minutes? Is that how we do it? Because this is a morning time, right, for you guys?
Yeah,
And,
bro. It's a morning for us. We are in Middle East. So in Muscat, Oman, it is 8:15 approximately.
okay.
And so usually we take 45 minutes plus 15 minutes. So overall 1 hour is a session.
So we'll try see how we can. Yeah,
So
we'll
request
cover it.
the devotees to keep your videos on, so that Prabhu will feel a personal touch, and we also have that personal association with Prabhu. Otherwise, Prabhu will be talking to impersonal
Talking to
souls.
the screen. Yes, I will be only
Yeah.
seeing myself. Yes, it's
So
very nice.
humble request all devotees to try to keep your videos on. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरानन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale, Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaye, Tadbhaktaye Namo. Jaitam Surator Pango Mamandamatir Mat Sarvaswapadam Bojo Radha Madan. Hare Krishna. So, very warm welcome to this wonderful session on Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we are today going to be looking at Madhya Leela. So I'll also just put out a small presentation. Is the presentation visible?
So,
Okay. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 9.218 to 2, I don't know, we will go to 236, maybe we'll only go to 3-4 verses. But let's see how, as we progress, how many verses we can cover. So we all know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is on his tour of South India. And today we will come to the actual southern tip of the country, and we will see some wonderful temples that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has visited. So you already know that he is going only with one servant, and he is traveling all around the place. So before we begin, we will quickly read some of those verses, 2-3 verses, and then we will, then discuss. So already you have seen the pastime when Shriman Mahaprabhu is visiting the house of a Brahmana and having a discussion on Ramayana and specifically glorifying Sita Mata. And then after having convinced the Brahmana that Sita Mata was actually not touched by Ravana or not kidnapped, then he spends the night there. So we'll read that verse. सही रात्रि ताहान रही ताने कृपा करी पांड्य देशे ताम्रपर्णी गेला गौर हरि. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed that night in the house of the Brahmana. Then after showing him mercy, the Lord started toward Tamraparni in Pandya Desh. Pandya Desha is situated in the southern part of India known as Kerala and Chola. In all these areas, there were many kings with the title Pandya who ruled over Madurai and Rameshwara. In the Ramayana, the name of Tamraparni is mentioned. Tamraparni is also known as Purunai and is situated on the bank of Tinbeli River. This river flows into the Bay of Bengal. Tamraparni is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.39. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is traveling around South India. So, let us first, for a moment, meditate on the significance of this. We all know that the external reason for the appearance of Mahaprabhu is to spread the holy name, is to deliver all the conditioned souls. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Mahavadanya, is supremely merciful. And he first came here, started his Sankirtan. He was relishing his the internal mellows in the courtyard of Shiva's Angan. And then the Sankirtan started, and that is same as the courtyard of Shiva's Angan. The pastimes were similar to Ras Leela. And then the Sankirtan went out. He delivered Jagai Madai. Then, when you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, you will see it is then goes further out. He delivers multiple people. All the devotees become very intimate. Now, after having toured all around Navdeep and around Mayapur and spreading the Sankirtan and having very intimate relationship with the devotees, and also having blessed, we also know that Chaitanya Charitamrita is epilogue. So whatever is happening in Srimad Bhagavatam, the continuation happens in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he also fulfilled the wishes of Advaita Acharya as Lord Shiva, Advaita Acharya as the incarnation of Mahavishnu. He fulfilled the desires of Nityanand Prabhu. So that everybody had different desires, which in the previous pastimes were not completely fulfilled. Like Lord Shiva wanted to be punished for having, spread the Mayavad philosophy, even though it is under the instruction of Lord Krishna that he spread. So he wanted him to chastise, and then Advaita Acharya in different ways, got the chastisement of Mahaprabhu. So like that, various desires. Nityanand Prabhu wanted to be completely, Balram wanted to serve without any hindrance. So he came as an Avadhuta. So many of those desires, Lord Brahma wanted to repent. So he came as Haridas Thakur. So all of these desires he fulfilled in the Navadip Leela. And then he started on the tour of South India. Now there are many, many things that is happening when he's starting this tour of South India. One part is obviously this is how Krishna's Leela usually progresses. And you will also see that I'll narrate a few things and I'll ask question Ramanand Prabhu if that is okay, just to keep. So one of the things you see in Krishna Leela, and you will also see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, is first there are pastimes and there is very intimate relationship. There is an exchange of love. Everybody becomes completely bound together, and then Krishna leaves, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves. And suddenly the devotees are in very deep state of separation. Right? So here also you will see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then starts for South India Yatra. Uh, of course, when he starts for Puri also this happens. When Gadadhar Pandit is given Kshetra Sanyas, so he cannot move out of Navadip. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu moves ahead. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not taking any other devotees with him for various reasons. He said, now Nityanand Prabhu is breaking my danda. He gives different reasons, and he has only one servant that he's taking along with him. So suddenly devotees who have been intimately associating with Mahaprabhu, who have been serving Mahaprabhu, who have been doing kirtan with them, are suddenly feeling separation. Right? So why is that this happens? Why is that Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very intimate pastimes, and when everybody is completely immersed and is completely connected to Krishna, he suddenly leaves. Or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu apparently externally leaves that place. Why does it happen so? What is the reason?
They should not get pride, Prabhu. That's why Lord lives.
Okay. Okay. So there are no right or wrong answers. So I'm looking at different perspectives. So very nice. Prabhuji is saying, because sometimes the devotees might develop pride, like it is sometimes said that gopis, when Krishna was among them in the Ras Leela, right? Sometimes externally it is said they develop pride and Krishna disappeared, right? So sometimes that pride happens in Laos. Okay, that is one reason. What are the other reasons?
Maybe
Why should
express
he?
the Vikrama Bhava. To express
Yes,
Vikrama.
yes, Rasaman Prabhu, you're right. Express Vipralambha Bhav. The Vipralambha Bhav becomes very significant when Krishna is not externally visible in the Leela. But why is this Vipralambha Bhav required? Why was that happening? Of course, there is no why to some of the emotions, but I'm just still saying why. Why should there be Vipralambha Bhav? Can there not be only, Krishna always meeting and happy?
Maybe more pleasure. That in the present pleasure will be more than the physical presence. That's what I understand.
Yes, yes. So the pleasure is more than physical presence. That is correct. Or external presence. And so I'll again. So why is that so, and how is that so? That pleasure is more, and that pleasure is very much required.
Maybe you have to hear from the senior devotees.
We have to ask the senior. That's true. No. But I'm saying I'm just trying to churn the entire subject matter. Even if you look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shrishtastakam, you will see the seventh verse talking about the entire mood of separation. The entire process, of course, from a perspective of Nitya Siddhas, those who are already associating with Krishna, it is a completely different kind of rasa. It is a different pleasure that they are experiencing. But from the point of view of conditioned souls who are getting liberated, obviously one goes through from Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha till he gets to Krishna Prem. Then after getting to Krishna Prem, the person then, of course, at Bhava and at Krishna Prem level, he or she starts meditating and can see the Leela in the heart. They, in their Siddha Deha, enter the Leela and come out. Then after leaving this body, then they enter Krishna's pastimes wherever they are happening in this material world. So they enter that particular place, and they are usually born as gopis in the different places of Raja or Gopas. And there, again, Purvaraga starts to develop. They see Krishna again, and then the entire love starts to develop and condense. One is to chant and see Krishna in the heart, and when you're in the Leela with Krishna, you're seeing the beauty of Krishna directly, and that is Madan Mohan, that attracts the entire mind of the devotees, and the love starts to develop, and then various pastimes happen. The stealing of the garments, the Govardhan, and then Ras Leela. Finally, in Ras Leela, the connection is established between the aspiring devotee and Krishna. The rasa exchange becomes continuous. After that, when the love has to condense, if the love has to condense further before one enters Golok Vrindavan, that condensation of love happens when Krishna disappears. When somebody you're loving so much and then they leave, then you constantly meditate on that person and you are crying and crying. And what happens to even the gopis who have just got liberated and have joined is that love becomes condensed for about 100 years. And that condensed love happens and they get more pleasure because the moment they meditate, Krishna is there in the heart. And for the soul, it is a more intimate connection. You can see Krishna before, and externally also they can see different pastimes that they have performed with Krishna. So it is a very, very one-to-one intimate relationship. Even when Krishna is outside, Krishna is almost like one-to-many, except in some places like the Vana Bhojan and Rasa Leela and all of that. But Krishna condensed in the heart, they can completely, have one-to-one pastimes with Krishna. And that in that maddened state, the love becomes more and more and more condensed. And that condensation leads to the final verse where Ashli Shiva Padaratham Vinashkumam. So whatever Adarshana Mahatan Karotva, Yata Tata Vidutatu Lampato, Mat Prananathastu, Saeva Napara. Saeva Napara. Nobody but you. Complete surrender happens. So this entire condensation of the love happens in Vipralamba. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is leaving for the South India Yatra, then this starts to manifest also, right? So the devotees who are in Navdeep and who are not allowed to participate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu start again contemplating and very much in deep separation of Mahaprabhu. This also happens when he leaves for Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri, they come and go, but South India Yatra, 2 years, they almost don't see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The other thing which is very significantly happening, this is one thing which is significant in South India Yatra. What is the other thing that is significant? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually traveling and delivering all the fallen souls, right? And he is traveling to different parts of South India, and where Lord Ramchandra has also traveled, and he is delivering many, many fallen souls. And this is also a promise he had made, right? In Ramayana, there is a play, there is a part when Lord Ram enters along with Sita ji and Lakshmana into the Dandakaranya forest. And in the Dandakaranya forest, there are many, many rishis, 10,000 Maharishis are doing tapasya. They are, upside down and they are meditating and they are doing deep tapasya. Lord Ram enters, and when he comes, all their hearts become so happy. They see Lord Ram and with Sita ji and Lakshman, And they pray to him that we want to be just like Sita ji is with you. Or in other words, we want to associate with you in Madhurya Rasa. And he then says that, not in this pastime, but in the next avatar, you can all come as gopis. So those are Rishichari gopis who enter the pastime and start getting Madhurya Rasa. Now, he also sees that some of the rishis' ears are not there, some of the hands are not there. So he asks, "Oh, what happened?" So then they say the demons are coming and disturbing our penance. And this is a dark forest. Dandakaranya is a completely dark forest. And it's such a dark forest. If you read Kambaraman, you will see that there is a whole visualization, complete dark forest. One ray of sunlight just enters and falls on the jata of Lord Ram, and it is shining. And Sita ji is walking behind, and Sita ji's reflection can be seen on the jata of Lord Ram. This is a very beautiful description of how Sita Ram Lakshman is walking in Dandakaranya forest. So even light cannot enter, so all the demons are there. So suddenly Lord Ram makes a promise. He says, "I will kill all these Rakshasas." And the promise is done later when they are sitting alone. Sita ji asks, she says slightly sarcastically, "You're always carrying this bow. I don't think that is right." She says, when somebody says something like that, there is a different meaning to the whole thing, right? This is why I'm Kshatriya, I can carry the bow. What is the problem? No. Constant association with the bow is not very good. And she gives the example of one of the rishis. He was meditating, he had a sword, and suddenly he started swinging the sword, cutting the plants. Later, he started cutting the animals. He said, like this, if you have a weapon with you, it is always making you very, anxious to kill. He said, why? No, I am only doing this. He said, he said, what do you want? She said, I want you to promise that you should not kill the Rakshasas. They are all our children. So they have just gone astray. So they should not be killed. If a child goes astray, you don't kill them, you reform them. Then Lord Ram said, "Oh, I have already made a promise to all these rishis. How is that possible? I cannot break my promise." She said, No, you should not kill. Then Lord Ramchandra said that, yes, what you are asking is your wonderful mood, of a mother where you want to completely deliver all your children. So in the future avatar, what we will do is that I will not kill. I will not touch these weapons, but I will deliver all these Rakshasas, all these demoniac people by the holy name, and I will give them Krishna Prem. So this promise was made, and there he indicated his future avatar as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now, after delivering Jagai Madai, now he is coming to the South India. And if the first verse of this chapter also says that South Indian people are under the clutches of the crocodile of Mayavada, different other Shunyavada, Bodhavada, Jainvada. So there are many other philosophies which are actually eclipsing their bhakti. Like Gajendra, they are already devotees, but they are now fallen down here and they are caught in this entire thing. So these Mayavada people are always envious of the Lord. And we know from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that some of the demons in Kali Yuga wanted to be born in certain Brahminical families. So they came in, and to delude them, Krishna has sent Shankaracharya, and all of those demons were deluded. So now to deliver those demons by the power of Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to South India. And that is a very significant event. Also, to all these other philosophies of Buddhism, Jainism, Shunyavada, which is spread there, he is going to completely eradicate and give them pure devotional service. And that is another thing that is going to happen in the South India Yatra. So externally speaking, South India Yatra is very significant. For the Navadip people, it is giving them the separation and condensing the love. For the people of South India who are under different philosophies, that is going to be delivered. But internally speaking, even more so, it's a very important thing that is happening. What is happening? Can you tell me any pastime when Krishna visits Vaikunta? Or Krishna comes to Ayodhya? Ayodhya, yes, he comes in the Leela, yes. But if you look at Brihad Bhagavatam, you will see Gopakumar going, first beyond Brahman, then he comes to Vrindavan, then he goes again to Sadashiv Loka, and then goes to Vaikunta, then to Ayodhya, then from Ayodhya, Jambavan takes him to Dwaraka. Dwaraka, they say you have to go to Jagannath Puri and meditate before you can get Goloka, but you already done that. So then he enters Goloka. So there are different, parts of the spiritual world he visits. This is the reverse pastime when Krishna is visiting, coming and giving association to all these devotees. And what is significant there? Of course, he delivers all the fallen souls and all of that is great. But sometimes this question is asked. What is the question? They say, is there promotion in the spiritual world? In the office, there is promotion, right? Spiritual world, is there promotion happening? Right? If I am in Vaikunta, what is the difference in the mood between Vaikunta and Goloka? What is the difference? What is the difference in the mood between Goloka and Vaikunta?
Vaikunta is all awe and reverence, Prabhu. Because
All
everyone
reverence.
is seeing the Lord as a supreme master and their servants. Whereas Goloka, different other rasas are also there in a different moods, like a Sakya Bhava and Madhurya, Vatsalya. All these pastimes are happening in Vaikunta
Correct.
in personal association.
Correct. So there is a predominance of Aishwarya. There are these relationships of affection, parental, and all of that, but there is predominance of Aishwarya. When there is predominance of Aishwarya, like for example, Krishna coming in before Vasudeva and Devaki, after so many years liberating them from Kamsa, when they were going to embrace Krishna, they were suddenly aware, oh, he's also the Supreme Personality of God. When that Aishwarya Bhav comes in, it becomes difficult to spontaneously express the love. Whereas in Vrindavan, there is no Aishwarya Bhav. They don't consider Krishna as Supreme Personality of God. This is like the difference between for a devotee, it's like a servant in the office and servant at home, right? Servant in the office, he has to be very careful. There are some things, oh, he's my boss. There are some etiquettes in the office. You have to follow XYZ and all of that. And when you go to South Indian temples also, you will see there are many etiquettes. Once we took a yatra to South India, then, the devotees go, they almost try to enter the Garbhagriha because in Pandharpur and others, they have experience of entering the Garbhagriha. But when South India, you try to do that, they will say, no, you cannot. And some devotees will take, the pujari will do the entire arti, and the devotees will suddenly try to take the arti and give it to everybody. Because in ISKCON temple, we are used to one devotee taking the arti, showing it to Prabhupada, and then to all the devotees. But you try to touch it, they will get very upset. Oh, you cannot do this. Right? If you go with some flowers, general flowers, they will just show to the Lord and put it on the side. But if you only go with mogra or fragrant flowers, then they will put it to the Lord. So there are official things when you get into the South Indian temples, because there is predominance of Aishwarya. That is like serving in the office. But if you are serving in the home, you become part of the family. You've seen many servants who live with the family at home, they become almost part of the family. There is very less, with the kids, they are playing, they are sometimes scolding the kids, they're almost part of the family. So here you will see that for perhaps the first time, or maybe it is, not first time in the times of time, for one of the rare occasions when Krishna is coming into some of these Vaikunta lokas, and we know that each of these temples in South India are representations of the spiritual world. Like Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh is the embassy of Goloka, or is the extension of Goloka. Similarly, each of these temples in South India are extensions of Vaikuntha. And Krishna, in the mood of Radharani, is entering and spreading this Madhurya Rasa freely to the inhabitants of these Vaikuntha places. So, what is happening here is very, very significant. It is a very, very wonderful pastime that is happening, whether we look at it from the perspective of Vipralamba, whether we look at it from the perspective of him delivering the inhabitants from the crocodiles of different other philosophies, or we look at it from the perspective of some of the Vaikuntavasis getting a completely different mood and being immersed in this Madhurya Rasa. So the first temple he is visiting, you're able to see the presentation?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So this is, first it is said that he visits Pandya Desh. So this is Pandya Desh. This is when Pandya kingdom was at its peak. Usually they rule here in the south, Madurai, till some of the Kanyakumari and so on and so forth. The southern place and parts of Sri Lanka is where the Pandya kingdom used to rule. There used to be three major powers, Pandya, Chola, and Chera. Chera is on the left here, Kerala and the Malabar place, and Cholas would be above this. So various times, Chola kingdom would extend almost up to Tanjavur and Madurai, and Pandya kingdom used to be here. So this is Pandya Desh. This is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is entering. And when he is entering and taking bath in the river Tamrabarni. Tamrabarni, the river has a lot of significance. It is also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like it is said in 11.5.38 and 39. It is said that, my dear king, the inhabitants of Satyuga, other ages, eagerly desire to take birth in the age of Kali. Since in this age there will be many devotees of the Supreme Lord Narayana. These devotees will appear in various places, but will be especially numerous in South India. O master of men, in the age of Kali, those persons who drinks the water of holy rivers of the Vedadesh, such as Tamraparni, Kritamala, Payasvini, and the extremely pious Kaveri and the Pratichi Mahanadi, will almost all be pure-hearted devotees of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. So this question arises, right? Here it is said that these people who are drinking the waters of Tamraparni will gradually be they will be pure-hearted devotees of Supreme Vasudeva. They will be devotees of Lord Narayan, and they will be pure-hearted, right? So this is the effect of being in the banks of such holy rivers. And Tamrabarni also means like copper colored, right? Red colored. It is said that Lord Shiva was present. In fact, when Goddess Parvati wanted to marry Lord Shiva, she prayed to Parashakti and she got a garland. That is the Shiva story. And that red garland, she gave it to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gave it to Agastya Muni. And Agastya Muni bought it here. And from that Agastya Kutam hill, this entire river comes, and it has the same color of that garland, sort of reddish copper color. So that Tamrabarni river flows through this, and around this Tamrabarni river is Nava Tirupati. There are 9 temples, and these temples, there are different darshans of Lord Vishnu, and some very, very wonderful temples are there. And if we get time, we will try and see if we can speak about some of them. And these temples are completely surrounding the Tamrabarni river. So this is the river that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking bath. And then in text 219, Tamraparni Stanakari, Tamraparni Tire, Naya Tirupati Dekhi, Bule Kutuhale. There was also a temple of Lord Vishnu at Naya Tirupati or Nava Tirupati on the bank of the river Tamraparni. And after bathing in the river, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the deity with great curiosity and wandered on. This Naya Tirupati is also called Alvar Tirunagari. It is a town about 17 miles southeast of Tirunelveli. There are 9 temples there of Sripati or Vishnu. all the deities of the temples assemble together during a yearly festival in the town. So here, what happens? I don't know how many of you are from South India. Those of you who are from South India would have certainly visited. Have you visited Nav Tirupatis near Tirunelveli? Now, they are very significant. I don't know, whatever time we will have, we will just discuss this verse. This Nav Tirupati, there are 9 temples, and the biggest thing that happens is there is a Garuda Seva Utsav, when the Lord sits on top of Garuda and all the 9 deities come and assemble. This happens in May, June. And it's a very big festival. In fact, one of the bigger festivals in South India, because all 9 deities come together. And why does that happen? Because of the wonderful devotee. We cannot go beyond this verse without mentioning Nammalvar. Nammalvar is one of the 12 Alvars of the Sri Vaishnava Parampara. And Nammalvar was born in Alvar Tirunagari, in the middle of this entire 9 temples. There is a temple, Alvar Tirunagari. That is where Nammalvar was born. Nammalvar was born, it is said, just after a few days after the beginning of Kali Yuga, maybe 26 days, 36 days. So just few days after the beginning of Kali Yuga. So Krishna disappeared, and after some days, Nammalvar was born. And Nammalvar was a very ardent devotee of Krishna. Even in the Sri Vaishnava Parampara, where they largely worship Lakshmi Narayan, Nammalvar, it is said, Nammalvar is Krishna Krishna Tattva. His entire life is just about Krishna. Krishna Krishna Tattva. So Nammalvar was born, when he was born to his parents, he was almost like a lump of flesh. It did not look like the child is actually developed. So the parents actually left him near a big banyan tree, and they thought the child is actually dead. But just under the tree, then after the parents had gone, Nammalvar started to manifest. Because he was a pure devotee, he was just sitting inside and meditating on the Lord. And he started manifesting pure love and symptoms for pure love for Krishna. Later, when one of the other Alvars called Madhurakavi Alvar visited that place and conversed with Nammalvar, that is when Nammalvar spoke about Krishna and spoke about the philosophies of devotional service. So he has authored about 4 Divya Prabandhams. Divya Prabandhams are the songs of the Lord. And Divya Prabandhams are when they go and glorify each temple, and they have verses glorifying each temple. So Nammalvar has written the glorification, and this entire Navatirupati 9 temples, Nammalvar has composed many, many songs glorifying their lordships. In fact, this is also slightly different. When the Alvars go to each temple, they see the Lord and they glorify the Lord. That is in the mood of reverence. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going and seeing the Lord as a devotee and spreading the entire Madhurya Rasa there. So to Nammalvar, then on that particular day of Garudotsav, he comes in a palanquin and he is standing at one place, and all the 9 deities one by one come before Nammalvar. Nammalvar offers his pasurams, his prayers, and the garland is exchanged. And after that, the deity gives darshan to Nammalvar and then moves away. Then another deity comes. Like this, the entire festival happens. And after the festival, the entire 9 deities turn and then they leave the place. And Nammalvar is in a palanquin of a swan, and his disciple Madhurakavi Alvar is also there in the chair. And all the devotees are carrying. And they keep on seeing till the entire procession of each of those deities disappear beyond the horizon till they are not seen. And once they are not seen, then Nammalvar turns and comes back to the temple. So this entire festival happens till today in May, June, and it's going on. It is called 9 Garuda Sevai. And that happens in that area of Tirunelveli. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing each of these deities, there are so many wonderful pastimes that he is remembering. Ramanguru, is it okay should we go into some of these and touch upon that? We will only be able to cover this verse today, but if it is okay with you, then we'll touch upon 1 or 2 temples. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So please pardon me for not covering too many verses. There's a lot of things to talk about. It's difficult to ignore some of the devotees and go ahead in those verses. Um, so you will see that each of this, and I will not go in detail, I can talk in detail, but just to sort of try and experience what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing, there are each of these temples, like you can see, these are some of the deities in darshan, and each of these deities are special in some way. This is the tree under which Nammalvar was born, and he was placed. And this is Nammalvar on the right. Um, so each of these deities have a lot of significance. In fact, for example, there is a temple called Vettamanidhi Perumal. So it is said that Kubera lost, because of the curse of Parvati Devi, he lost all his wealth. And he came and meditated here. And he meditated on this place. And then, he had darshan of the Lord. The Lord restored all his wealth, or nidhi. All his nidhi was restored. And when all the nidhi were restored, Kubera got his blessings, and he was very, very ecstatic. That Lord, if you see Vettavanidhi Perumal, if you go and have darshan, is lying down on the entire, beautiful Shayana. It's a very beautiful darshan that you will have. So that Lord is there, Vettavanidhi Perumal is there. There is also a temple where, uh, there is this Alvar Tirunagiri temple here, where Nammalvar was born. There are also various other temples. For example, there is a Kallabiran temple. Uh, there was a thief who used to steal and then donate almost half of his wealth to the temple. And once that thief was captured by the Chola king, or the Pandya king, and he was being questioned, and he was going to get punished. And because the thief was ardent devotee of the Lord entered and spoke through the thief. And through the thief, he started to preach the entire devotional philosophy to the king and all the people who were assembled there. And the king became very astonished. And when he surrendered, the Lord showed his own form and Sri Devi Bhudevi, and he showed the darshan. And he saved the the thief, or the Kallan, the chore, and it's called Kallabiran temple. So like this, there are many temples in that route. I don't want to go into each and every one of them, but each and every one of them has a particular significance and has a particular, pastime that has happened there. There is also a wonderful temple where the Lord is wearing sharp-shaped earrings, like that of Krishna. He's wearing sharp-shaped earrings. The reason why I'm describing all of this is, if you get inspired to go and see, you will see that Magara Nenkuri Kannan. This is Krishna wearing the sharp-shaped earrings. So it is said that Bhudevi was doing tapasya there, and from the river she got two sharp-shaped earrings, and she gifted those earrings to the Lord. And those earrings, the Lord is wearing the sharp-shaped earrings. Now you will see that all these places, there are pastimes which reflect some of the happenings of Goloka, right? For example, there is a temple where the Lord leaves in the night and goes into the forest to associate with all the gopis. So these are actually places in Vaikunta, but here Lord Narayan performs the pastimes similar to that of Krishna, but the thing is that it is completely covered with Aishwarya. And all of these pastimes which happen in Vaikunta are as such extended here, because each of these places are actually extensions of Vaikunta. So if you ever want to have a tour of Vaikunta, like we do a tour of different places, we go here and there. But if you want to have a tour of Vaikunta, all you have to do is come to these southern places and have a tour, and then you can see all these deities. So these deities are there in the southern tip. After that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Chiyatala Tirthe Dekhi Sri Rama Lakshmana Tilakanchi Ashi Kaila Shiva Darshanam. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to a holy place as known as Chiyadatala, where he saw the deities of two brothers, Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana, and he then proceeded to Tilakanchi, where he saw the temple of Lord Shiva. Chiyadatala is sometimes known as Chirtala. It is near the city of Kaila, and there is a temple there dedicated to Lord Sri Ramchandra and his brother Lakshmana. Tilakanchi is about 30 miles northeast of city of Tirunelveli. So this Chiyadatala or Chirtala, there are two places. In fact, it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrta also that because only one servant was traveling, after we came back and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back to Jagannath Puri is when all these pastimes were narrated. So some of the visits of the temple are not necessarily in the chronological order. So it is said that sometimes this Chertala is understood as Chertala in Kerala, which is in the north of Kerala towards Thrissur. But in some of the commentaries, some of the previous acharyas have commented that this is also near Nagarkovil, which is just south. So when you go from here, from Madurai down here to Nagarkovil, this is Tamrapanni River, and here there is also a temple of Lord Ram and Lakshmana, and that is probably the temple that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited. The other temple in Chertala, there are four temples called Nalambalam. So there is the temple of Lord Ram, Lord Bharata, Lord Lakshmana, and Lord Shatrughna. That is in the north of Kerala. And after seeing this temple in Nagarkovil, he went to Tilakanchi or Tenkashi. It is called the Kashi of the South. So what happened is this Pandya king, Parakrama Pandya, he went all the way to pilgrimage to North India to visit the Lord of Kashi and Lord Vishwanath. And when he went there, Lord Vishwanath said, "Oh, you've done so much of journey because in the olden age to travel is very difficult." He said, "Why don't you establish a temple of mine in South India, and that will become the South Kashi?" So he said, "How do I find you?" So he said, "You follow the line of, when you go there, follow the line of the ants, and where the line of the ants end is where I am." So he went, followed the line of the ants, and he went to Chitraru River, and among the trees, he found a Swayambhu Shivlinga. And he took that Shivlinga and established there, and that is now known as Tenkashi. If you visit that temple, it is same as taking darshan of Kashi Vishwanath temple. So he also saw this entire Tenkashi. And then he moved ahead to other places, Gajendra Moksha. There is a lot to talk about. We could talk about the Gajendra Moksha temple. We could talk about, him finding the entire, Brahma Samhita. There are so many pastimes we can talk about. But I'll just pause here for now because we are running out of time. So today, just to summarize, we saw the significance of South India Yatra and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is traveling into all these Vaikuntha places. And we also saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking bath in Tamraparni River. And alongside Tamraparni River, the Navatirupati. Now Navatirupati to Chertala, Lord Rama and Lakshmana temple. And then from there to Shiva Kashi, which was south of Kashi Vishwanath. Some of these temples he has visited. And there are very many beautiful temples as he moves now. In fact, I wanted to talk about Gajendra Moksha and all of that. In fact, the Gajendra Moksha temple that he's going to visit next is the symptomatic of the entire South India Yatra. He's actually delivering all the South Indian people from the jaws of the crocodile. And then eventually when he comes to Adikeshwar temple, a very beautiful temple where he retrieves the Rumas mirror. So all those pastimes are going to happen. So I did not want to have the heart to just skim over some of this. So we wanted to, if there was time, we could have gone into pastimes of each of these temples because these actually help us reflect on the mood when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have taken darshan on some of these temples. So that is what we have seen today. Please, this is an exchange of rasa which is happening, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to completely subdue this place with his Sankirtan and the spreading of Madhurya Rasa. So that is what is happening. So thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to speak on some of these temples. Obviously, some of these verses require a lot of time because then just in Navatirupati, you can go into each of those temples and pastimes, and just we can only imagine what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have felt when he comes and sees. I would also encourage all devotees to actually take this yatra and go to some of these places, the very wonderful places. You will meet also very nice devotees there. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj has commented that some of these devotees there are they're all pure-hearted and they're living in so-called poverty condition. They, if you see the pujaris today, also they live near the temple. Looks like they're just in a very poverty condition. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj has commented it is actually their qualification. They are so much in love with Krishna that they don't care for anything of the external material world. So it is important one associates with these devotees. So I hope that this has given some inspiration for this entire thing, for visiting the South Indian places. So I'll pause here. Thank you very much. If there are any other comments, questions, happy to discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhutan. Thank you so much for it. So nice, so nectarian. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is always glorious. And that too, when we hear from a pure Vaishnava like you, and those who have seen and conducted yatras in these places, and so really it is a nice, great opportunity for us to meditate on those pastimes as we speak, as we travel throughout. Prabhu, yes, actually, I have a couple of questions also.
Yes.
But one point I wanted to share, like each place where Lord Chaitanya Prabhu visited, all these places have very nice significance. Like recently, when we went to Srirangam a few months ago, I a very striking point was noticed that there one temple part of the premises. Lord Krishna and Arjuna's deities were there where Krishna had a mustache.
Yes.
So I was asking Pujari, what is the significance? Because we never see, because we see Krishna generally in movies or pictures, what the photos we see without mustache. So what is the significance of Krishna having mustache? Then he was laughing and saying that this particular this one is when the Mahabharata war was happening. So because Krishna took the mood of a servant, he took the role of a servant. So usually he is a master, but he took the role of a servant, Parthasarathi. So because his master, Arjuna, didn't shave for 18 days because he was busy in the war. So to reciprocate master, this one, he said, you will not shave the. So it is a very intimate um, uh, meaning and pastimes. So nice to hear. Prabhuji, I have a couple of questions. You mentioned that when we before we go back to Golok Vrindavan, we take birth in earthly Vrindavan where Krishna does the pastimes. Again, he comes maybe different universes or different places. The question is it mandatory that, or it is only an optional, or it is again up to the Lord? Because why I'm asking this is this actually this question may take into further more questions into because sorry, bro. Because when Prabhupada or other spiritual masters, where my spiritual master also, when I was discussing with him, once he was mentioning that you must go back home, back to God, and Golokunda by end of this lifetime. So this was generally what gurus, the spiritual master, they says. But how to understand that if it is mandatory that we must again take birth in earthly Vrindavan, wherever, whichever universe Lord is doing pastime. And I know that there are millions and trillions of universes are there, and Lord may be doing this pastime in somewhere or other. But how as a layman, I'm asking how practical it is for so many millions and billions and trillions of jivas, those who want or who are in the process of going back to Godhead, enter the particular lifetime, will take birth in that particular universe where the pastime is happening. And is it a mandatory, or is there any special mercy quota to which they go back Godhead by mercy of say spiritual master or whatever it is, directly from here to because even in Gopakumara's pastime also we've seen that he had to come back from Vaikuntha, he had to come back to Bulok Vrindavan, and from there he practices because before he practices Navaid Bhakti to go to Vaikuntha planet, but want to go back from there to Goloka, he had to come back again to Vrindavan. That we connected. But is there any other mercy quota or any other thing where we can go directly? That is my first question. After that, I'll ask a second.
Yes. So within that, there are 3 sub-questions. So I'll just answer that. A very nice question from Anand Pro. Thank you for sharing this. So the answer to the first question is, I've heard from various sources that usually it is mandatory you enter the pastimes which are happening in Buloka, Vrindavan, get trained up, and then go to Goloka. The exception is for those who are pujaris, right? Who are actually, it is said, who are pujaris, who are doing service directly in the temple or the deities, and they develop so much intimate things, and Krishna tells them, you give me this garland, this thing. In the heart, Krishna is always inspiring. And if you're really inspired, and as a pujari, sometimes it is said pujaris go directly back to Goloka. This is point number 1. So that is a special quota, so we can all go back and take services in the temple. The second part is that obviously all the Nitya Siddha gopis like Radharani and all of them who come, that's the definition. But from a conditioned soul's perspective, the pujaris, that is point number 1. Point number 2, when all the our spiritual masters say, go back home, back to Godhead, right? It is not just the physical going back home, back to God. If it is, see, like it is said that American embassy is in Bombay or Delhi, right? And if you run and enter American embassy, and the police is chasing you, right? Once you enter American embassy, the Indian police cannot come inside. Why? All the rules inside American embassies are all the rules of America, right? So it is as good as you entering America. Or in other words, all the rules of America is there in the American. Though American embassy is far away from America, it is in Delhi, but it is part of America, right? But this is still a material example. If you extend this into a spiritual world, actually Golok Vrindavan expands into the material world, right? Radharani says you first bring the Dham, you bring Giriraj, you bring Yamuna, then only I will descend. So Krishna expands Golok Vrindavan here. So even if you're entering here, you are actually in Goloka. So when you say go back home, back to Godhead in the same lifetime, it's not just about the physical thing of going to the Goloka there. And this is also proven in Brihad Bhagavatamrita when Gopakumar talks to the Mathura Brahmana. He says, for us, there is no difference between that Goloka and this Goloka, because for us, we are in the same consciousness. When you are fully Krishna conscious, then this entire world, for a pure devotee, this entire world transforms into Goloka also. Because here he says every object as the object for service of Krishna, which is Goloka. So the same Goloka consciousness spreads, the same as American embassy. When you enter American embassy, the same rules apply here. So actually, when we develop the Goloka consciousness, and what is Goloka consciousness? Here we are seeing every object as for enjoying for ourselves. When we see every object as service of Krishna through Radharani, dovetailed through the Ahlagni Shakti and dovetailed as the servants of Radharani, then we come into the Goloka consciousness. So if we enter the pastime of the Lord where he is manifesting Goloka, it is same as entering Goloka Vrindavan, right? So when our spiritual master says you should go back home this lifetime only, my understanding is it's not like, oh, we have to skip this Bhuloka and then directly enter that. This also is the same thing from that point. Then the other part that you asked, that is it mandatory? Of course, I mean, nothing is mandatory, it depends on your consciousness. But usually this happens because it is a very wonderful thing. You get trained up, right? And we all know this one thing that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks about it. Where does bhakti come from? Right? Where does bhakti come from? Where do you get bhakti from? What is the answer?
By practice.
So yes, he discusses this point. He first says, oh, does bhakti come from Krishna? Then he says, no. If Krishna is giving bhakti, why is he not giving everybody? He is giving selectively, then it makes him partial. No, bhakti doesn't come from Krishna. Then he says, does bhakti come? He only puts the argument, he only answers. He said, does bhakti comes just like that? He said, if it's just like that, then we don't have to practice anything. For some people, they might get it, some people, they will not get it. Why are we practicing? So that is not also. So when he does this analysis, he says, finally, bhakti comes from the person who has bhakti in the heart or the pure devotee. The devotee who has love for Krishna can transfer that love to Krishna, love to another devotee. So bhakti comes from a devotee. Now this Madhurya Rasa, which is gopis, treasure of the gopis, nobody else has this entire Krishna Prem, that is with the gopis. It is with Radharani, it is with Lalita Sakhi and all of them. If you don't associate with Lalita Sakhi and Radharani, of course, when you chant, you enter as in Siddhatega, you do have some association. But unless you actually associate with Radharani and Lalita Sakhi, you cannot get that mood, right? Imagine entering a company without having 6 months of training, right? You will go there and do all programming and everything wrong, right? When you go into the company. Similarly, how to serve Krishna when, and it is a very intense service. When you go to Vrindavan, Radharani is crying. She wants to meet Krishna. She's almost ready to, leave her life. And Krishna is there lamenting. And the devotees are actually running and trying to make Radha and Krishna meet. That service you need to be trained upon. And that is why Radharani, Lalita Sakhi, everybody descends into this Goloka, into this where the Bhuloka, this pastime is happening in the material world. And with the association of Radharani, the association of Lalita Sakhi, and all the other Nitya Siddha Sakhis, one gets trained up. And that is the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam is to have different pastimes of Krishna, of different avatars till you come to Krishna, and from Krishna, different Vatsalya and all of that till you reach to Ras Leela. And in Ras Leela, the gopis are meeting Krishna, but Krishna disappears. Then they follow, and finally they see the footprints of Radharani. Then they see the footprints of Radharani disappears. Then Krishna also disappears because Radharani feels that if these gopis see me with you, they will get jealous, and the whole training will go wrong. So when Krishna also disappears, Radharani sits there, and the gopis come there and say, now we have lost Krishna. Then she gives them the formula of separation, love in separation, where they sing the entire Gopi Geet, and that love in separation then condenses their heart and they get Krishna back. And then again, Krishna leaves and that condensation happens again, like you boil the milk. So this entire training process happens in this material world. So also, it is wonderful. It is not when you say, matlab, it's not a punishment. It's a wonderful thing to go through. So I would say, if you given, I don't think we have a choice, but if there is a choice, we should select that for the training, so that when we go to Goloka, we are, perfectly having that condensed Krishna Prema. And there are also other stages, right? Raga, Anuraga, Purva Raga. There are 9, there are 8, 9 other stages after Krishna Prem. So you have to go through all those stages and come till Mahabhav for you to enter Goloka. That is also another reason. Does that answer that question?
It also means like for some who have attained that stage in this lifetime itself, like Sri Prabhupada says that make the place wherever you reside as a dham. So somebody who is already into that stage wherein he is already crossed all these things and reached the stage of I don't know, maybe prema stage or bhava stage. So for him, he's already into it. As you mentioned that Mathura was like Gopakumara's story. Mathura Brahmana says that we don't see the difference between that Mathura and this Mathura. So likewise, somebody is in the stage, so he may go back directly. So thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, that takes us to the another question. Like, is this only for Krishna devotees, or say, for example, one who is worshipping Rama? So again, he has to go to Ayodhya, wherever the Lord Rama's pastime happens in the different universe, or the devotees of Lord Nrsimhadev, he has to go to Nrsimhadham. So is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking, but
Yeah, that's a good question. Good question. In fact, it seems so. While I don't have any explicit reference which says that, but if you look at the Leela, all the Ayodhya Vasis who are coming, they're all people who have, devoted many lifetimes for the service of Lord Ram, and then they're born in Ayodhya, then they meet Lord Ram, and then they are separated from Lord, right? So that happens, and then the Lord Ram comes back and takes all the Ayodhya Vasis back, right? And same happens with the monkeys also who serve. But some of them don't go back, like Divida. Divida gorilla does not go back because he's envious of Lakshmana. So anybody who's envious of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or of Nityanand Prabhu or Lakshman, he does not go back. So as a conditioned soul, he got the opportunity to associate with Lord Ram, got the opportunity to actually fight on behalf of Lord Ram, but still did not go back. And finally, he was killed by Balram in the next avatar because he was creating trouble in the Rasi. So it does appear that the devotees who are, and that is the general process also, that they take part in the pastimes of Lord Ram here. It becomes even more, the attachment becomes even more condensed, and then they are all taken back home, back to Godhead. Even this is back home, back to Godhead, but they are trained here and then taken. It's almost like, it is the same thing, right? You join some software company, suppose you join TCS or whatever, they give you 6 months training, right? But that training is within TCS campus only, right? It must be an extended campus. So, for example, Bangalore, you might get employed, but the campus might be in Trivandrum, right? So, whenever somebody asks that person, he says, I got job in TCS, right? Now, actually 6 months of training and then you're going to get confirmed. But once you're entering the training means you're already given appointment letter, you're already given training. So unless you break the glass or do something stupid, you are going to be confirmed in TCS, right?
it
So
means that
you are,
there is a chance of fall down even from that place.
yeah, there is always a chance in that sense. I don't want to get into the next question on does Jiva fall down or not. That's a different debate altogether. So, but the idea is that there is, unless you do some offense, right? TCS is not going to throw you out. It is going to train you, and so you are simultaneously in TCS but not in TCS. You are in TCS because you have been given appointment letter. You're being trained up, but you are not been yet confirmed as an employee, so you're still a training in TCS. So it's like that. So, but if anybody asks, if some relative comes and have you got a job, he doesn't say, oh, I am in training. He says, I have got a job in TCS, right? So he's assumed I'm going to get confirmed, right? So that is how it is.
Thank you. My one last question, unless you are already late.
Now, I'm not late. I'm just, if anybody else also. Okay, no problem. Go ahead, please.
One last question, Prabhu. We all know this mood of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is Srimati Radharani. So he always carries that mood and he comes to this material world. But when he visits the South India temple, what was his mood? Like he was approaching in a or with awe and reverence, or the same Madhurya Bhava. What exactly was his mood? Because nowhere it is mentioned. He just whenever he goes, he sees Lord Jagannath. Of course, there we see that he again gets into excess. He falls down. But in South India Yatra, we never seen any of such instances where Lord is becoming ecstatic and is falling down. I don't know, maybe I missed somewhere, but what was his mood with Chaitanya?
Yes, so you're right. But there are many places within South India also. Srirangam also, he dances very ecstatically and falls down. That's when the Brahmana comes and invites him. So he is ecstatic. See, the person can see the deity in the mood that he is in. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in the mood of Radharani, usually he will see Krishna and his intimate relationship of what Krishna is trying to do, right? So, for example, you might see Lord Ramchandra, but the mood of Raman, I'm not trying to guess what the mood is, but just generally, I'm trying to address the question, which is when you see Ramchandra, you can see it in different ways. If you're in Aishwarya, you will see, oh, Raghunath, the prince of the Raghu dynasty. You will see it in that. And if you hear Shiva Vaishnava lecture, you will hear. So I have Shiva Vaishnava background, so I know the lectures. You will see Lord Ram being always in the reverential. But when Radharani sees this, she sees how much they had made a plan. Lord Ram and Sita ji has made a plan that we have to deliver all these conditioned souls. So what do we do? And they had there's an external reason. The internal reason is they also said, Vaikunta, there is a lot of disturbance. Some or the other person is coming to visit us. So what do we do? So we'll say, we'll do a Leela by which 14 years we can be alone, right? So they came to the material world, the Leela happened, 14 years she is alone. And then it was planned she will be kidnapped. And Lord Ram will travel all around this nation to delivering all the souls and go to Sri Lanka and then come back. So then you see the mood of Radharani or the mood of the mother is, my children are lost, how can I retrieve? That is the predominant mood. Even if a mother has 100 children, one of them is gone, the mood is always, where is that child? How can I bring him back? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees how Krishna as Lord Ramchandra has gone out to retrieve all these conditioned souls, he becomes ecstatic in that mood and he dances and cries. And it is also confirmed in many Sri Vaishnava scriptures. When the Alvars also come, Nammalvar, when he sees the deities, he sees Krishna. Right? Every deity he sees Krishna only. Right? In the south, Nagarkoil, he'll go, he has gone, done, surrendered on the feet. He is saying that deity is of Lord Vishnu, but he's singing the song that Krishna, I am surrendering unto. Right? So the mood of the devotee is that of Krishna. So he's seeing Krishna and he's surrendering. Of course, you can say Krishna is the source of all these deities. So Krishna is in every one of them. And Shiva Vaishnavas will say the other way around. That they will say, oh, anyway, Lord Narayan only manifested as Krishna. So if you want to see Krishna, you can see Krishna also there. So there is two ways of looking at it. But the mood of the devotee in the heart, that is how they see their Lord. Like a child, if it sees his mother or father, it is different. And if he sees some uncle, it is different. If he sees Chacha, it is different. Right? So depending on the mood on the heart, they see the Lord. And that is why this pastime is very significant. For the first time, we are seeing this interaction of Radharani visiting all these Vaikuntha places. Or at least Krishna in the mode of Radharani visiting all these Vaikuntha places. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So, devotees have any other questions? There is one question in the chat box, Prabhu. Is there jealousy in the spiritual world?
Yeah, is there jealousy in the spiritual world? Yes. The jealousy, the only thing, all the emotions here cannot exist if they are not there. The only thing is the jealousy there and the jealousy here are different. How are they different? There is jealousy both ways. All the emotions are the same. Here, I want something, and if I don't get it, somebody else gets it, I have jealousy. So that jealousy is driven by false ego or bhogavancha, that I want to enjoy. That is the root of the jealousy. But in the spiritual world, there is jealousy, there is competition between the gopis of Chandravali and the gopis of Radharani. And for Vamabhaga, and this is very nice, we're discussing this in the South India lecture. Dakshinayini and Vamana. The Dakshinayini of gopis, they are of a different mood. And so there is jealousy between them. What is the jealousy between them? The jealousy is that I want to serve Krishna more, and they also want to serve Krishna more. So there is a competition. If the other person gets to serve, there is a different jealousy. And how do these two jealousies differ? These two jealousies differ that in the material world, the jealousy produces a very burning kind of a sensation and an anger. That why is that I am not getting it? I am not getting this bhoga. Whereas in the spiritual world, this jealousy creates sweetness, right? Sometimes it happens that a small child is there and the mother is there, but some auntie comes and picks up the child, and the child is also very happy with the auntie. So sometimes the mother gets sweet jealous. The sweet jealousy is she's very happy that my child, ultimately she wants the pleasure of the child, so she's very happy that my child is happy. But at the same time, she's slightly is the love, the sweet jealousy is there. That why am I not getting the same kind of this thing? But it's always there. So this kind of jealousy happens in the spiritual world, and this jealousy is so much, and this is because of these two moods also. Dakshinayinis will, whatever Krishna does, they will just keep it in their heart. They will suppress, and externally they will smile and say nice things and try to pacify Krishna. Whereas the other, the Radharani, Lalita Sakhi, and especially Lalita Sakhi and Gopi, they are very externally always in the mood of kind of not cooperating, right? They have love, but they are always like, I don't want you. I don't, this always angry and everything. That is another way of serving. Krishna gets a lot of pleasure when the gopis have love in the heart, but actually chastise. So when the Dakshinayani see this, they say, oh, these people are not serving Krishna properly. They are always angry with Krishna, right? And when the other gopis see them, they say, oh, these other gopis are actually suppressing their anger in the heart and showing outside. This is just acting. They are not loving. So they have this kind of jealousy and competition. But that is out of sweetness of love, like a mother wants to love the child more. And when they see Krishna is happy, they are internally very happy. And externally, they express the jealousy mood just to create that competition. And Krishna, enjoys that entire thing happening. And Krishna also has too many things to solve, right? In the material world, it is an impossible problem to solve. Wife is jealous, mother-in-law is jealous, whatever, and the person in between gets completely, in problem. But Krishna, that is why none of us can become Purusha. Only Krishna can handle these kind of problems. Right? Anybody who married says, "Oh, Prabhu, I cannot handle this." Right? So similarly, but Krishna can handle because he's Purusha. So he likes this entire jealousy and mood in the competition. I don't know whether if I can go on it. The jealousy is so much that Raghunath Das Goswami is chanting in Radhakund, and he's in his Siddha Deha, is entering and serving Lalita Sakhi and Radharani. And he only has one, chullubar charge every 2 days. He has only so much charge. That's all he has. So his servant thought, oh my God, what will happen to him? But he is doing his bhajan and entering the Leela, and the other past. So the servant said, there's small leaf cup, I'm bringing chas. I will make a bigger leaf cup and I will bring that chas. So one day he brought the chas in a bigger leaf. He only had it in the palm of the hand. He brought in a bigger leaf cup. Suddenly, Raghunath Das Goswami became very angry. Where did you get this leaf? Where did you get this leaf? Then the servant he said, I went the other side of Yamuna and picked up this leaf. This is because that's a bigger leaf, lotus leaf, bigger. So I made the cup out of it. He said, who told you to go there? Don't you know that is Chandravali's place? How will I have, I am servant of Radharani, how will I have chas in the leaf cup from Chandravali? Right? You don't bring me this leaf cup from Chandravali's place. So, but this apparent, dedication to Radharani, and this is out of love, so that produces a very different sweetness. So to answer your question, Razanand Prabhu, I hope that is answered.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. One of the reason is envy, the Bhogavancha, which is that I want to enjoy, and that envy causes this. Correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So nicely explained. So other devotees have any questions, comments? Shyam Sundar Leela Prabhu, Shivanath Prabhu. They're all our my wonderful Shiksha Gurus. They're all sitting here. Shyam Sundar
Very,
Leela
very
Prabhu is
happy to
nice.
get your association. Please do correct. I might this thing would have said a few things which might be wrong. Please do feel free, and the chastisement is also allowed. So I look forward all the senior devotees. Questions, comments, corrections, all very nice.
Shyam Sundar Prabhu, you have anything to add, ask, comment?
No, Prabhu. Wonderful class. so many pastimes. Thank you so much, Ravi. Very nice class. You have given the regarding jealousy. Wonderful explanation, comparative statement regarding the material world as well as spiritual world. Beautiful. Nice, Ravi.
Thank you.
So you come across the Namalvar also.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Prabhuji is actually from Chennai. He worked in Krishnakatha Desh and he went back to Chennai and is
Oh, very nice. So he's directly under Lord Parsarsi. Huh?
Yeah.
He's Chennai Parsarsi. You can see Lord with the mustache. Yes. Right.
Yes.
So very nice. So these are wonderful temples. If you and Nammalvar also, if you can read up to these pasarams are very, very wonderful. If you can read up, it's all Krishna Bhakti, very pure. And they also are in the Nayaki Bhava. They come in the Gopi Bhava and they sing certain pastimes. There are some very, very wonderful pastimes. Because there's 1 minute left, I can just say there's one of the Alvars who there are three Alvars who get into Nayaki Bhava, and the Nayaki Bhava is the Gopi Bhava. As a Nike, as a girlfriend. And so he is praying to the Lord, and the Lord does not appear. So in the village, there is this thing that if you don't get your lover, then what the boy does is he takes a coconut palm leaf, big leaf, and he puts the leaf and like a horse, and he rides on the coconut leaf and goes around, running around the village and keeps singing about the girl. So everybody in the village comes to know that he's actually in love, and they say, "Okay, you're finally married." That is called madal. It is a coconut leaf. So this Alvar came into this form of lady, this mood of the lady Gopi, and Krishna was not coming, and he became so upset. So he wrote the pasurams. It's called Tirumadal. Madal is the coconut palm leaf. So he's riding on the coconut leaf and singing. And the Tirumadal songs, and that is in this bhava, like the Lalita Sakhi and all, very angry mode. So he wrote, Shirar Tirumugame, Tirikkachi Uragame, Peragame, he wrote that I will go to all these, like these different temples in Tirunelveli. He'll also go to all the temples around, and there I am going to sing your praises. I am going to sing everything about you. Then Krishna said, okay, you sing, what is the problem? Then he started singing. He went to one and he said, what is the fault of Putana? Putana is such a nice lady, she only loves Krishna, and somebody is loving and coming, and this person is cutting her nose. What kind of God is this? This guy doesn't know anything about love. Lady is coming in love and asking, and he's cutting the nose. So he started singing like. The next pastime started. There also some other criticism she started. Then after 2-3 padram, Lord came. He said, "Bas, bas. Isse zyada kiya, to all my preaching will be gone." You are turning entire pastimes of mercy, and you are turning it around in anger. Right? In love, you find mistake in everything that you do. So they appeared before the Alvar and gave darshan. So these are Nayaki Bhavas that are there in the Pasurams. You can sometimes read. This is very, very nice. So there is so much to discuss, but yes, thank you for this time, and it was wonderful associating. We can go on the entire day and discuss some of this. In fact, I had slides on the next temple. The Adikeshwar temple is very close to where my parents stay in Trivandrum, so I can go on speaking about that temple for a lot time, and there is so much to speak about. But yes, time is always the constraint in the material world. In the spiritual world, it expands, right? So it is not a problem. But I'll now
Navatirupati,
yes.
any context you have, Prabhu? Navatirupati?
Yeah, I will send it to Nityan Nasim Prabhu, and
Yes.
he can share it with all of
you. Yes.
I'll send you some contacts.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So it was really amazing journey for us to have today with Prabhuji. So
So just to add on, His Grace Acintya Gopesh Prabhu is a brother of His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhu. Actually, Haridas Varya Prabhu is in Vrindavan now, is in Kartik Math. So thank you, Prabhuji, for in short notice you accepted our invitation, and we look forward for many more sessions. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I look forward whenever you invite. I'm happy to come. Always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji, pranams. Can I just
Yes.
say that was a very wonderful class and so similar between you and His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu, because I'm following his Caitanya Sikshastakam verses every week. Prabhuji is giving. Amazing, Prabhu. Please accept my humble pranams at your lotus feet.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Harish Parshal Prabhu, every Saturday evening, 7:30, I think he's giving lectures on Shishta. Very, very wonderful.
Yeah.
Very wonderful.
But Prabhu, your class today was amazing. Very amazing. So many insights, and you have inspired us to really go and see the Tirunelveli in and around the places. We see, last time we had been to South India Yatra, but we could not cover so much. Adikeshava temple we covered. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your wonderful class. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranams.
So thank you very much once again, Prabhuji, for your wonderful association and mercy. So we look forward to have your association coming weeks again, once again. So Mitesh Prabhu will get in touch with you to get your time and